Alright, hello YouTube, this is FossiLord of the DMV Drakes, and I'm going to be doing the Undisputed Best Market Watch. Alright, so we're going to start off with Mirage Galgamon. Solid effects. I think that the all turns once per turn, gaining one memory for every 4 cards in your opponent's hand is going to be amazing, especially with some of the upcoming decks like Crossheart, and then, what's it called? The Savers deck from BT12. I think this card is going to go up, also because of the Mirage Galgamon support, so $5 per alt art, about 5 to 6 per alt art. I'd say get you some copies now. You could see if it drops more. It has been declining a lot. It'll probably decline a little more since there's not going to be any real usage for it until like EX4 comes out, unless you can think of some jank deck build. I know I saw some earlier today. I got beat by some earlier today. They really took advantage of the Crossheart card count, so look at that if you want. Then this Gabumon. Alright, so this BT2 Gabumon, this has it's almost had a buyout right now. As you can see from this price right here, it dropped a long time ago, right before Nats, or like a couple weeks before Nats, and it's only been shooting up since. There were a couple tops with purple decks. I heard, I think it was Minerva Loop topped in Oceanic region or Oceanic Nationals, so that's probably where a good amount of the hype came from. But also, if you guys remember, there is a purple Gabumon deck that was announced recently. So if you really want to prepare for that, wait for this to go back down, or get the other one, which is about the same price. Get it now or wait. It's up to you, wherever your wallet sits. I know some people can get this now, more like some of the diehard fans probably have a full playset of this, but keep that in mind as you do your deck building and buy the decks. Alright, so I meant to group this together better, but I think Nikolai's alt art, one, it looks nice. I like the fact that they look like they're in a gym, but the jamming on any like Galgamon or Gal Digimon, it's amazing. I was playing against like a jank Mirage Galgamon deck where they used the they used the jamming effect to swing with their level 5. They digivolved into their Mach Galgamon, and then since they had enough memory for it, they went into their Mirage, bounced the card back to hand, gained memory, unsuspended, and just swung again. It was honestly disgusting. They were really smart with how they took advantage of Crossheart's hand size. So take a look. I would say get these now, honestly. I know I picked up a playset recently. Mine were a little more expensive. I got it around like $6 because I didn't really want to wait in case it went up. But get it when you can, especially now since it's only $3. Okay, so I know I'm looking forward to this, but the Beelzemon starter deck is coming out soon, and that is going to be that's going to be a really fun time. I know I personally like milling myself to death in game, so other people probably do too. A good old race to the bottom of your deck. But recently, I don't know if you guys keep up with this, but in Japan Nationals, Beelzemon won. It beat Examon in the finals. Now I don't have any Examon cards in this watch list. They've all stayed the same price, about like $38 to $40 for Examon and alternate art Examon. But this card has been going up for a long time because it used to be cheap. Around the time EX2 came out, because the Beelzemon deck wasn't good, it was like $4 to $5. Now it's basically $12. If we look down here, it's basically $13 after all these shipping prices. But you've got a good line of $12 at 48 cards right here. So, and I feel like it might go up. It might. It really depends on how the deck builds look once the starter deck comes out. But I'll just say keep an eye on this. I know I'll be covering this in later market watches. Next we got the alternate art. The alternate art has been holding steady at $50 for a long time. If you really want to get this, you're probably gonna have to bite the bullet and just get it at $50, because it's been this way almost since it came out. I remember I was looking at this a while ago and I was thinking, yeah, this will go down. It went up. Not by much, but it went up. So if you really want this, and if you don't already have it, which, oh, yeah, that was just wrong. There's actually, the lowest verified one is $54, essentially. You can place, you can gamble with the new seller, but I personally don't like doing that. I like to go for the verified ones despite the higher cost. If you can, I would try to trade for this. I personally I don't want to pay $50 for one Beelzemon card, even though it looks sick. I mean, like, look at the flames. It's either way. Oh my god, this is gonna be good. All right, so this is the Warp Beelzemon that came out in BT2. It's like sitting at about $12 right now. You don't really need to get this because I know the starter decks will come with a pack of, at least the Japanese starter decks came with a pack of Switch cards, all of which came with at least one copy of the new alternate art BT2 Beelzemon, this Warp one. So if you really want to get some, you can. They're pretty cheap compared to what they were like 2 months ago or 3 months ago. They were $25. They're all the way down to sub 12 now. You've got a good amount of them going for like 12 to 15, so I would say pick those up if you really want these. If not, wait for the new starter deck to come out and then just try to fill it up through like trades, because there are definitely be people who buy the starter decks for the other Switch cards, because there's the Guilmon, the Warping Guilmon Switch card, the Warping Vmon Switch card, and then there's even an EX2 Hitmon, which I did forget to put on this market watch. There's an EX2 Hitmon that last I saw was sitting at about $10. That's going to have an alternate art printed in the Switch deck. This card has dropped in value a lot since the starter decks have hit the market in Japan, and watching the progress through the use of the new art one. These used to be 50, they're dropping all the way down to like 30, going for like 30, 35. Yeah, it really depends on which one you get. There's a nice 4-set right here for 35, even though it's lightly played, but you probably just have, if you really want this art, which I'd recommend just waiting for the starter deck to come out and getting that new one, because it looks a lot better. It's got a nice updated art to match the rest of the set. Get this now. There's a bunch on here, up to like 35 that you can pick up if you really want all of them. Black War Gray. So Black War Greymon won U.S. Nationals. There was, I think, like 16 or 18 of them in top 32. If you really wanted this alternate art, you probably should have gotten it a while ago. Now you're gonna be paying upwards of $50 for it. Yeah, upwards of 50 with very. There's what, like. Okay, there's a decent amount of them here, but they go up very quickly to like $50. To like $60. Skipping all of these if you want to gamble with the newer sellers. But yeah, so if you really want this card, you might have a better chance just looking at your local area, see if they have trades. If not, search some discords. I know the DMV Drakes has a discord that we use to do some card trading. We got a couple active sellers in there. Just do what you can if you can, so you can not pay full price for this. It's gonna be my overarching theme. If you can, don't pay full price. Trade it. Same with Gaimon. It's been fluctuating a lot. It's been slowly but steadily going up for a while. It's looking like it's solidifying around $38 to $40. I know in my Black War Gray X deck, I run one copy of this. I know some people don't. It's really personal preference, but this art, it's too nice not to have. So if you can get it, I would recommend getting it now before it spikes up again, because in EX4, Gaimon is getting a new card that allows it to digivolve into this one. Digivolve into a Gaimon of 13 costs or more without having, I think it's without paying its memory cost, or without paying its Digivolution cost. So this will look real nice because that one also has a alternate art. And then Black War Gray X, I'm honestly a little surprised it's sitting around $30 to $35, but that makes sense given the amount of BT11 that was opened chasing the arenas and chasing their alt arts, even chasing these alt arts and the Yuya alt arts. Honestly, might be one of the better times to get it. You can always try and like tempt fate if you really want to and wait for it to go down. But generally, with how meta this deck is right now, I could see it max going down like $5. So if you want to wait for then, wait. But I would say get it now if you really want it. Same with Yuya, sitting around 25 to 30. It has been steadily going down since it released. But again, the deck is an extremely meta-relevant deck. So if you can, get it now. And then, hey, if it goes down later, you can hold on to it because Black War Gray is going to keep getting support. The card is too popular not to. It was, I think, number 3 in Japan finals. And it was, I think, there were 16 to 20 players playing it in top 32 of U.S. nationals. So this card is going to hold value, if not go up over time. Alright, the online participant VMon. So this VMon has gone up a lot since All Force came out, which makes sense. But it'll probably be on the decline now, mainly since the hype around All Force is dying down, because there was only, I think, one player who got top 32 with this deck. Everyone else did not make the cut. I wouldn't get it around this like $17 to $20 price range. Ooh, yeah, no, $17 to like $30 price range. There's not a lot of low cost options. You've got a nice wall here of 6 cards and a nice wall here of 4, but after that, that's like 4. There's like 4 playsets right here before it spikes up to like $18 to $20. So if you really want this card, I'd say wait. It is just the participant one. I'm not even gonna bother pulling up the champion because that's, last time I checked, it was about $250. Rena, the chase card of BT11. This card has actually retained its value the best since release. It has, of course, the waifu tax on it, so it's gonna be more expensive than a normal alternate art card. But this card is key for any All Force deck. So if you're planning on running All Force right now, I would say try to play something else unless you have $200 to get a full playset of this card, because you need a full playset of this card in an All Force deck. I'd say wait, because oh wow, okay, so no, it's actually there's not a lot of copies left. There's like 4 playsets, maybe. That math was completely wrong. There's about 5 to 6 playsets right here, and most of them, after like the first 3, jump up to like $55 to $60. So just wait on this card if you can. The deck's not going anywhere for a while. All Force is going to get an X antibody form in BT12, but I don't think it's enough to make this deck tier 1. The Alt Art Rena. This card is absurdly priced. I get it. It's the alternate art card of a waifu. It's the alternate art of a waifu card. Anyone who plays this deck is going to try to get this. But if you look at the pricings, it's sitting around $60 to $70, and not a lot of copies right here. So unless you really want it and have the extra money, don't get it. I mean, if you really want to. But it's not worth it. Get out of here, game drivers. All Force alternate art. This is, I think this is a pretty reasonable price for this alternate art. The art looks nice. I like the shining effect from the saber on the rest of All Force's body. It's been dropping since the deck has not been doing as good as people expected it to. It's solidifying. It's looking like it's solidifying around $25 to $30. I think that's pretty reasonable for this card. At least as long as when this card drops, Rena drops. When this card drops in value to like $20-ish, if Rena doesn't drop in accordance, just regular art this deck, it's not going to get much support later on. There hasn't been anything too new announced for it. There is a All Force card coming out in BT 13. It has, I believe it is trash 2 sources for every I believe it's trash 2 sources for every tamer you have on the board, or Royal Knight. I'm not too certain off the top of my head. Double check that. Just it could be good for this deck, but I don't think it's not going to be enough to make this deck tier 1 or like rogue tier deck like everyone wants it to be. This deck gets kind of checked by Black War Gray because they can just Hades Force and kill the tamers, or Black War Gray Evolution kill the tamers. Machine Dramon. Machine Dramon is... I think this is a good price for this card. I play this deck... I've been playing this deck since like BT9. I got my playset for $20 each. I think $20 to $25 is a good range for this card. There's not much else that it's not the alternate art, so there's not much else that you can really raise it to without it being an absurd price for the deck, especially since most of the decks that I have seen or played against and or played don't run a full playset of these. They run like 2 to 3 copies. So this is pretty reasonable, $20 to $25. The alternate art for Machine Dramon has dropped substantially. I remember when I was playing this deck and I was like, yeah, let me alt art this deck. I love playing this deck. I get to throw down to level 5 and then, digivolve into this level 6 and then, oh my gosh, put more underneath. It's like, yeah, let me alt art it. I looked at the price. It was like $65. I'm like, never mind. I will stick with my base rarity set. And I'm so glad it dropped down. I'm going to wait for it to drop a little more. I think it can drop down to like $35. Then it's not... Okay, never mind. There's not many copies of this. I'd say wait on this. See if it drops. I definitely don't think you should be going out and buying this, considering... Take care of those. There's like there's four cards under 60, and then they just all spike up to 100. Definitely wait on this card. See if it drops more, see if hit the market, and definitely check your locals. See if you can get some alternate arts there, or even you can check our DMV Drakes Discord server. See if check our marketplace. I know we have some active sellers in there who would be more than willing to sell you a card. All right, Digimon. So we all know that there are the Ultimate Cups coming up, where you get the BT12 Digimon alternate art just for participating. This alternate art is the one that I believe you should be playing with the Gallantmon deck. It gives you the draw 1, which Gallantmon is desperately lacking outside of just Evolution, like any deck, which is also a problem that every red deck has, lack of draw. But as long as I've been watching this, as far as I've been watching this card, it always sits around $25 to $30. It's currently sitting around that range right now. In fact, I'm probably gonna pick up this playset afterwards. I've been waiting to get this card for a long time, and it's finally at a range and a price range for all 4 copies where I feel like I can do that without taking too much of a monetary hit versus like 100 for a playset or 120. Because as nice as this card is, I wouldn't pay more than $30 for 1 copy. But this will definitely go up in value to, I believe, like 30, 35, because Gallantmon is getting a lot of support as well as all of the other Digimon series protagonists in BT12. Because we get the new Gallantmon line, we do get the new egg, we get a new Staccato, which really nice effect, allows you to warp by putting a War Growl and a Growl underneath. So definitely keep track of this. I think this card is going to go up to like 30, 35. Another card that's going to go... I got a bunch of Gallantmon stuff in here. I am a Gallantmon fan. I think you might be able to see it over there. Over there. I don't know. This card usually fluctuates between $16 to $20. I think it's going to go back up around the $20 range. Oh, this also has a low playset cost. Alright, I might be picking up this one instead of the Digimon, because like I said, the Digimon isn't as necessary for everything that you do. But this card right now at $16 to $18 is good value. Usually goes for like 18 to 25, and since like I said, the Gallantmon support is coming out soon. This card is going to be pretty good to get now, so you can watch it go up and have a nice personal Digimon stock that you can just sell off later if you really want to. Okay, so this card, the Guilmon, the Warp Guilmon Store Championship, I think this is really good price. If you want to get this version, I personally think this card looks really nice. I'm going to use it over the Switch card, which there will be an alternate art for this, the Switch card coming out in with the Beelzemon starter deck. You can look at that. You can look at this. You're going to be getting one of these alternate arts with every set. So if you buy enough, or if you just buy it online, you could get a full play set. But I would say this is a pretty good price range for it. I've seen it go for like over here, like $20. I bought mine when it was around 10. Probably could have waited, probably should have waited, but I didn't want to potentially see it go back up before I could get it. So I definitely think now's the time to get this one. This is a really good price for it. Gallantmon X Antibody. This card fluctuates in price so much. I've seen it for as low as 18. I see it right now for a base of 25 up to like what, 26, up to 40. Wow. Yeah, this card is going to go up a lot in BT12 because, like I said, Gallantmon is getting support. But I'd wait on this one, wait for it to drop back around the $18 range, because it will drop back down. Okay, actually, wait for it to drop back down to around the $20, $22 range. I think $25 per card of this might be a little, it's personally too high for me. I'm going to wait. I think you should too. The card is great, but there are other alternate art cards coming, or there are other alternate art cards that will support decks in BT12 that are probably have more cost-effective alternate arts than this. Let me hold on. Yeah, there'll be more decks that with alternate arts that are more cost-effective than this around the time that BT12 releases. So if you're really a big fan of Gallantmon, go ahead. If not, hold off on it, because I personally think if you want to get the Gallantmon X Antibody alternate arts, I would first start with the Crimson modes, because the Crimson mode looks sick. Look at the flame, look at the light weapons, and look at the wings. But this one is going to be used in almost every Gallantmon deck. Gallantmon X Antibody, I've seen some deck lists where they don't use it. I've seen some where they do. It really depends on the person. But this is a staple for the deck. I know I haven't said staples a lot, but this is a staple. So definitely get this. I would say get this over the Gallantmon X Antibody alt art if you don't already have this. Alright, I want to bring this up because we all remember back when BT9 first came out, everyone was using this War Gray to facilitate the War Gray X OTK. This is great. You don't check options, you get a security check, plus with the War Gray X and the TIE and the ST1 Greymon and the War Gray X, you get all 5 checks in one turn, you gain the memory back, and then you Blitz Omni for game. That's nice. This used to be like $15. It's about $10 per copy now. I can't tell for certain if this is going to go up. I don't play this deck. If other people do play this deck, please let me know in the comments that if you think it'll go up or not. I think this is a good price for it. $7 for a meta relevant SR. I think that's pretty good. I've seen higher. I know Leomon is going around for like $20ish, and then Jerry alternate art, the EX2 Leomon is about $20 right now, and then the EX2 Jerry alternate art is about $20-$25 because of the All Force hype around Nationals. I know I'm not covering that one, but I'm just going to say this now. Wait for that to go back down. It's not a staple in any deck. It is generally useful for blue decks that can play Tamers out. I know that I'll be using it in a Leopardmon deck that I'm working on, and if you want to see that, I know it's Leopardmon. It's going to be Leopardmon for BT13. If you want to see that, let us know in the comments. We can do a profile of that. It won't have the full cards, but we can do it on like a .dev. I want to look at the alternate art for that Greymon as well. This is about $20. Sorry, this is about $23, going up to about $25. I think that's actually really reasonable. I know in the BT9 area it was about 30, so I think this is a good price to get this for, especially since it is meta relevant and has a really nice looking art. So if you can get this, and if you want to get this for the BT12 War Gray deck, get it. I know they're getting a new War Greymon, but I'm not certain how that one is going to play out. I know that the reboot from that is going to pair really well if you digivolve that one, that new War Greymon, on top of the BT11 Metal Greymon X, because you can reboot, transfer security, so that when your turn comes back, you can just wipe them out immediately. Alright, this card, this War Gray X Antibody, this War Greymon X Antibody alternate art, I think this is a great price to get it for right now. This is going to go back up in price. Not a lot unless War Greymon starts topping tournaments in BT12, but it's going to go back up to, I think, about $25, so I would say get your playset now, as this is a very nice art. I actually like how it's just like flying at you. That many people aren't opening any more boxes of BT9 for, since most people have their Death X, or since Death X has dropped in price to a point where people are more willing to pay for it. So I'd say get this one now. Shoutmon King version. Shoutmon King version of the alternate art is about $12. It fluctuates a lot because the Crossheart deck, it's been in interesting positions. As in Japan, it was topping almost every tournament. It was winning left and right. In America, or in the US, when BT10 came out, Crossheart got hit with a nerf almost immediately, which mostly killed the deck. And then this shot up in price because everyone was like, oh wait, you can use King version to pull your Cross 4 back out of the trash after you kill it. And then everyone was like, hold on, that's a waste of resources. So I think $12 for this is a pretty good price. It can drop. It'll probably drop more. I'm not sure by how much. I know I got mine for about $8 off of TCG Player. So just watch this if you really want it. I pulled this one up because I've been looking at this card for a hot minute. I've been looking at this card for about 2 to 3 weeks now. When I first started looking at it, it was about $40, and it has been dropping substantially. I'm very happy about that, but I want to see if it drops more, just so that I can not pay $25 for a pre-release level 3, as I am max raritying my Crossheart deck. There's no special value to this card. It just looks like it just looks nice. It has the pre-release stamp, and if you really want it, go for the pre-release stamp. Otherwise, just wait for the alternate art card for this to come out. It's bound to come out. Shoutmon is a protagonist Digimon. He's going to get an alt art soon. We just know it. So you could save your money for then, or you could just get it now and then max rarity the new one as it comes out. Cross 7. I personally think this is the best alternate art in the game. I very much like the Megazord aspect of the design with like the realism in the art. I'm not going to talk about that. This has been dropping in price. When I was looking a couple days ago, it was about $16. It's been dropping down slowly but surely. I think it's going to solidify around 12 to 10 because, like I said earlier, a lot of cases and a lot of boxes of BT11 were opened so that people could hunt down their arenas and their alt arts. And this was a fairly common alt art that I did see people pull. So I think this range is decent, like $13 to $18. I'd wait to see if it drops more. It's gonna drop. Then it might spike back up when Superior Mode comes out. So if you really want it, just look at it, watch it over time. I'll be covering this one probably in the next one. Cross 4 pre-release, not much to say about it. This card was kind of killed on release, so the pre-release has been dropping at about $3. If you really want to pre-release it to max rarity your deck or just high rarity your deck, since it's a one-off, I think $3 is a pretty good price to pay for it. Cross 5. Cross 5 has seen a buyout recently. I know I'm working on getting my last couple copies of these. I know I should have had them since I am a Crossheart player, but I've just been doing other things with my money. This card used to be around $15 for an alt art. Since there was a Crossheart player who got second at US Nationals, it has spiked up to $30. And if you really want this card, wait for it to drop. It is not going to stay this way forever. Give it about a couple weeks to a month. It should be back around $18 to $20 since most people won't be buying it for this much. Akio. Alright, I'm pulling this up. I am a huge fan of Apollomon. Apollomon is a vaccine Digimon. If you play Apollomon with the vaccine support that was released in BT11, Akiho can search it and it can give it rush for the turn it comes out. And if you have enough memory, you can take your Apollomon Digimon and just swing out again. So I'm just going to cover this. I have my full playset of this just in case because I will be max raritying all Apollomon because he is my favorite Digimon. But if you're a fan of him too, just watch this, get some copies. I think he's going to be red-yellow, but Bandai could pull some shenanigans and make it a different color. Death X, sitting around $55. I think this is a lot better than what it used to be. It used to be like 80 to 90 for this copy. It's not as relevant in our current meta since everything is basically a single stack, but it is generally useful. Death X Mon alternate art. I would say wait for this to drop down. It'll probably go down more. It'll probably go back up when BT12 comes back since the Crossheart deck, the Savers deck, and a couple of the other decks tend to go a little bit wider than normal, but I don't think it'll probably drop since it's not going to be getting many copies sold in our current meta. Cool Boy had basically a buyout right around Nationals. Not sure why, but it happened. The pre-release is $30. I'm pretty sure Bandai is going to be addressing all the number of Black War Greymon X decks that were at US Nationals. So this might get hit with like a restriction. It's probably going to be this one or the Greymon X. And the Greymon X made Digivolution cheaper into a multicolored card, which is what people did. They would do Greymon X into BT8 Metal Greymon for 2 instead of 4 and just go up into Black War Grey into that same turn. This is just something to be wary about. And then the actual Cool Boy, sitting on $7 right now. Sitting on $8 right now. It has a pretty hard line right here, so I'm not worried about this losing copies. But just watch this one, since it'll probably fluctuate a lot depending on if or when Bandai releases a restriction and limited list. But that's gonna do it for me for today's Market Watch video. So if you like this, subscribe. If you hated it, also subscribe. You can tell me what you think in the comments below. Tell me if you think any cards need to be added to this list or any cards need to be taken out this list. But thanks for watching.